Being transgender used to be Woman of the Year, brave and stunning.
Maybe this is why God put me on this earth.
Now it's Captain Winky.
She's a man.
He's lying.
Then, my friend, she is suffering from the worst case of hemorrhoids I have ever seen! That's why Roger Podacter is dead! He found Captain Winky!
Transgender people are starting to hide their transgenderism instead of celebrating it. Now, transgender people just want to be the opposite gender. Not a trans woman, just a woman. But that's not how it works. Take, for example, this biological male that pretended he is a woman to get a volleyball scholarship at UW. Luckily, Riley Gaines, who is an advocate for no men in women's sports, talked about it. Male takes women's volleyball scholarship at UW, a soon-to-be Big Ten school, stealing the already few opportunities for women at the collegiate level. How can he be proud? UW volleyball should rescind the scholarship. If they really care about women, he can play with men. Apparently it worked because in a follow-up X, Riley states, it's alleged that UW volleyball rescinded the scholarship from the male vying to play with women. Sources say the coaches had no idea he was a male. This dude and his family concealed his sex throughout the entire recruiting process. Not only that, but there's evidence that they've been concealing his sex for years. This coward was getting MVP at the girls' junior national championship. He also won Player of the Year, according to a source who happens to be the parent of a player within the Southern California Volleyball Association. There were suspicions because this dude's performance significantly surpassed that of his female counterparts. The source said you could tell even back then that he was different from the girls. I wonder why. The source added, parents look around before they speak in hushed tones. Some will wait to discuss until outside the gym. So, of course, this is California where nobody wants to stir the pot. Shh. We're not going to talk about how this dude is spiking on all these girls. More evidence that they've been hiding this dude's sex for years. In a 2016 story published with the Los Angeles Times, the mother claimed she knew her son was a transgender because even from a very young age, he liked girls' clothing better. She didn't name the child in the story. She refers to him as T. T lives in the same area where Tate resides. He is also very much into volleyball. His parents claim that they showed the boy an interview featuring Jennings at 6 years of age, and they allegedly got the impression that their son relates to Jennings. 6 years old. Do you know what I was doing when I was 6 years old? I was asking my parents if I could go to school dressed up as a Mighty Morphin Power Ranger. But my parents didn't get the impression that I related to a Power Ranger, and that became my identity. No, they were like, get your normal clothes on, go to school. These California parents probably got the impression that Jennings was making a lot of money for his parents with a hit TV show. So they indoctrinated their son to want to be a girl too. Cha-ching! So obviously this dude would have a distinct advantage over the women. The net in volleyball is lower for women. The obvious biological differences. You never see a woman going into men's sports to dominate. That's because there's a clear biological difference. If you put a 90-pound woman on the defensive tackle line in the NFL, she's going to get folded in half like a piece of paper. Being transgender isn't hip or cool or woke anymore. Now it's detrimental, and transgender people are trying to distance themselves from this label. Look at this trans actor that says he doesn't want to be labeled trans anymore. Dr. Schaefer isn't interested in playing transgender roles anymore. The 25-year-old actress, most recognized for his breakout role in Euphoria, no longer wants to be reduced to this element of her identity. Do you know who doesn't want to be reduced to this mockery of women? Real women. As soon as I say I'm transgender, it gets blast off. Schaefer said. It took a while to learn that, and it also took a while to learn that I don't want to be reduced to that. And I find it ultimately demeaning to me and what I want to do. Especially after high school, I was sick of talking about it. He, she, it goes on to say, I worked so hard to get where I am, past these really hard points in my transition, and now I just want to be a girl and finally move on. Well, sorry, dude. That's not how it works. You don't get to decide how people see you in society. Trans people have been the media darlings for brands desperate for diversity and inclusivity for the past several years. All of a sudden, you don't want the spotlight shined on yourself anymore? I can call myself an ostrich and stick a feather duster up my ass and walk around with it. Chances are people are going to want to talk about the feather duster.
You come here and you come out with a bird on your shoulder.
I knew I shouldn't have come out here.
Yeah, no. You're welcome here anytime, but you come out with a bird on your shoulder and then say we can't. How am I supposed to not ask about the bird?
It's not relevant to anything, okay? It's not relevant to anything.
Here's what I predict happening. Trans people will want to be called just men or women, not trans men or trans women. The liberals will push it, and it'll be considered hate speech to not call a man a woman and a woman a man. I know we already have this, but the trans part of it will disappear completely. And oh man, it's gonna be a trap. We gotta stay vigilant, boys.
You're not a lady?
Yes,
What are you?
I'm Lady Boy.
I have beat. Are you okay?
I have what?
Beat. Yeah, you can see.
How sad for women and feminism that being a woman can be reduced down to hair, makeup, and a high-pitched voice.
Woo! Oh, get it on. Woohoo! Woohoo!
I can't believe that feminists would not only allow such a mockery of themselves, but fully support it. If being transgender is so brave, unique, and special, then it shouldn't be something you hide away. I'm fine with a man dressing up as a woman. Whatever, express yourself, but don't take opportunities away from real women. Don't hide the fact away that you're packing heat. Even after a sex change surgery, if you've ever packed heat, you still have that bone density, the muscle structure, and a skull-crushing volleyball serve.
I was severely injured in a high school volleyball game by a transgender athlete on the opposing team. I suffered from a concussion and neck injury that to this day I'm still recovering from. Impaired vision, partial paralysis on my right side, constant headaches, as well as anxiety and depression.
The pendulum is starting to swing the other way. Leah Thomas, the man that outpaced Riley Gaines in collegiate swimming, reportedly can't find a women's team that wants him. Olympic rules are being formed to keep men out of most women's Olympic events. It only took a few years, but something as unnatural as transgenderism is finally not hip or cool anymore. And we're seeing the real life repercussions of mentally ill men taking opportunities away from women and beating the shit out of women along the way. Anyway, drop a comment down below. Should transgender people have to divulge that they are in fact transgender? Like and subscribe to Conservative Vibes, and I'll see you next time.